Hey everybody, it's Kelly again. Just here talking today about PCOS. I don't know if any of you watching this suffer from PCOS, but I do. I was diagnosed, oh boy, I want to say back in 2005. Yeah, 2005, 2006. It was quite devastating when I found out. Up until then, I had been on birth control, and then my family moved away, and I thought it was a good time to start a family with my longtime partner, Michael, and so we had tried for a while to get pregnant, and it just wasn't happening. And I should go back and say that I am one of 10 children. I wasn't raised with all my siblings. I was just raised with my brother and myself. But I always wanted to have children since I was a little kid. But I always had this little voice inside of me that always told me that I wasn't going to have children. And I would always remember telling my mom, "Mom, I'm never going to have kids." And my mom would always say, "Oh, don't be ridiculous. If you're anything like your father, you will have children. You're one of 10. Don't worry, Kelly." But I always had this voice in the back of my head telling me, "You're not going to have children." I was hoping I was just being over dramatic, but it turned out to be that I never did have children. And it's something that I still struggle with today. But at the age of 46, it would be cruel for me to have a child now at my age because I'm so old. Not that there's anything wrong with people having children at advanced ages. It's just with my energy level and my patience growing thin as I get older, I just think my time is seriously past, and I believe that it was all God's will. If it was meant for me to have a child, I would have had a child. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. So after a while of trying and not having any success, I had spoken to my doctor about it, and she told me to speak with my gynecologist about it. And she had said, have you ever heard of PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome? If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically where your eggs get trapped in little cysts when you ovulate, or you don't ovulate. That's why it's hard to become pregnant when you have PCOS. I'm not sure. You can look it up or Google it if you want to know for sure. So please don't come at me if I'm giving the wrong information, but that's what I can vaguely remember being told. But anyway, so I went to my gynecologist and we spoke, and she ran some tests, and I still remember the day that I got the confirmation that I have PCOS. I was actually doing my laundry. I was at a laundromat, and my gynecologist called me, and she told me that I had PCOS, and I remember being just devastated at the news. I remember crying, not knowing what PCOS really was, but it's definitely something that shook me to my core. We got proactive about it right away, and we went and we got Michael tested, which I still give him credit for. I always knew that the problem wasn't lying in him, it was in me. And then we tried some fertility medications and to see if I would get some follicles, and it just didn't work for me. It was heartbreaking. I spent a lot of nights crying, a lot of days crying. It was quite difficult for me to even look at children without breaking into tears. I know my nieces having children were bittersweet for me. I was so happy for them, but there's an emptiness and a void that to this day is still something that I live with. But as time grew on, I kind of resigned myself to the fact that this is what it is. I was able to do some online research and find some support groups for PCOS. And honestly, misery loves company, so finding out that there were other people that were afflicted with PCOS really did give me some comfort. It's not something that I enjoy having, but it's nice to have a name for it. However, there are some side effects from having PCOS that I could really live without. And the one I want to talk about briefly today is the excessive facial hair. You can't really tell by looking at it here, but I am a plucker. I am a long-time plucker. I have spoken with my gynecologist about maybe getting one of these hair removal medications that they had, and she told me that I really didn't have that severe of a case of excess facial hair, so she really advised me against it. But it's something that I have dealt with for quite some time, and it is annoying. And I find I'm thinking about it today because as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that plucking will be something that I will be doing until the day I leave this earth. And I think about when I get older, what if I have to live in like a nursing home and I can't have access to a pair of tweezers or hair removal cream? And that secretly terrifies me when I think about it. It's silly the things that your mind goes to. I predominantly get the hair above my lip, a little under my bottom lip. The ones that drive me crazy are the ones on the sides of my chin. It's nothing you can ever really see, but it's something you can feel. And I know that it bothers me with my femininity. You want to feel smooth when you're a woman. And you know, when you have your significant other, whether it be male, female, hey now, love the one you're with, you want to feel smooth. And I know that when I go and I touch my face and certain parts feel smooth and certain parts feel prickly or stubbly, it gets to me. It bothers me emotionally, and it bothers me still to this day. And I was thinking about it today after a night of plucking. I'm very grateful that it doesn't come in heavy. It's not very noticeable. I notice it more than anyone else, as that's common when any of us have a flaw. We tend to focus on it more than anyone else would really notice it. And it just, since I'm starting my YouTube channel again, it was something that drew me to want to make a video about it today. And I wanted to just post it on here and open a conversation and have a place for people to talk about PCOS. And I'd really be interested in any comments that people had. And I'd like to hear from people about what symptoms of PCOS bothers them the most, of the physical side effects. Of course, the inability to have a child is more of a psychological bother for me, and an emotional one. But you know, excess hair is something that we all deal with. And I think you deal with it a little more, and you're more aware of it when you have PCOS. And I just wanted people out there to know, in YouTube land and out there in the universe, that you're not alone. There are other people that are suffering and going through the same afflictions as you, and that it's okay to talk about. It's human. We all have flaws. And despite that, I still hold up my head high. I still try to feel as though I have wonderful self-worth. And at the end of the day, it's not PCOS that has me. I have PCOS. So that'll end my little rant today. I thank you for taking the time to watch, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Take care. Goodbye.